Welcome to November 9, 2025 Stardrops. The theme of this week's video is integration with the higher self. The great I am is in you and you in the I am. To truly understand what that means is huge. Just think how valuable you are. The power and love, the potential of infinite creativity is actually at your disposal. Yet because of the density of this world, and what is hanging over people with a densifying energy and technology, we can hardly believe it's true. It takes work to actually meditate on that concept each day and be able to hold on to it. And if we're strong enough to hold that feeling, the feeling that we have this I am inside of us, which is infinite potential, to keep it forefront throughout the day, then that becomes the next challenge. The challenge to hold on to it as a constant backdrop, guiding and projecting its radiance around us throughout the day. And you know, it's not just a mental thing, it's all inside of you, fills you up with love and worth. Even though the density and technology attempts to continually fuzz you out, the idea you are bigger than what you thought and prompting you to grow keeps thrusting itself onto your mind more and more and more. Daily you want something more beautiful, more divine and real. You are changing before your very eyes. A new dimension and timeline is emerging. Everything feels like one continual transformational event. Looking back on old photos, music, experiences, people, and moments, which left an indelible imprint on my soul, feels more out of place today than it did only 4 or 5 years ago. What has happened? Memories and experiences carry a particular frequency, a feeling, and put you in a certain mood. We don't forget them. A song, a fragrance, a photo could trigger it, and voila, you are right there, re-experiencing them. But now it feels as if the past is so incredibly far, far away, like another lifetime, a dream we almost can't remember. This new self has replaced the familiarity of the old. Truly the way things were in our past, only 5 to 10 years ago, seems like an eternity. Could it be we have moved into a new life, a new timeline, and maybe even a new dimension? The strongest theme for the next few weeks will be about the tremendous expansion of your true, genuine self, and noticing it, accepting that real part of you building a new future for you. It is taking over the job of the old self. New feelings, a new mood, strange new perceptions and energies, and a new vibrational outlook on everything. You might feel disoriented, like you're not even sure you've settled into it yet or even like it. This field we are in now is in the insulation period. It's creating a bubble, a protection shield from the dysfunctions in the world around ourselves. Yet still we are in the world of dysfunction and we still care. It's both at the same time. The Mercury Retrograde will be at 6 degrees Sagittarius, and it expands our true new person, developing and integrating with our human identity. As the old identity gladly makes room, a more present, realistic philosophy and perception replaces the past opinions. And even though we may feel a bit more detached, each one of us is making the decision to consolidate the light within us and invest our energy into our best self, get our priorities in order every single day. This began a few weeks ago, the last 2 weeks of October, makes a peak on November 9, and then continues through mid-December. You know that I'm big on these Mercury retros, and they always tend to reveal a new thing for us to digest for our future. I see Mercury as the wave shower helper, dropping keys for me to catch when it comes around. The second portion of this video will be a few planetary cycles you need to know, and the final section will be how the Mercury retro in Sagittarius could inspire and impact your own personal sun sign. So here's our recap of the global Mercury cycles. They can impact everyone personally and sometimes be seen playing out in world events. At the end of last October up through November 9, It is a moment of realization. We need to expand and grow our perspective, our outlook on our future in a more direct and confident way, making way for the new insights. They will be dropping down into your mind, which is typically what Mercury retrogrades do for us. It will be prompting to expand, to learn, to open oneself up to a new attitude, knowledge, and growth. A change of perception should already have begun. It will carry you through all the way to mid-December. It will inspire us to raise the bar higher for ourselves, what we tolerate, put up with in our own everyday lives. This is because Mercury is retro in Sagittarius, the zodiac sign of profound spiritual insights, raising our standards, our ethics, and an incredible expansion. The Mercury retro will oppose Uranus. It could trigger a desire to separate ourselves out from an old belief or an old situation, mindset, or something that we had been entangled in and that we bought into, or a part of ourselves that needs to come out, get it redefined, and then move into a more higher, truer path for ourselves. Many times when it's in Sagittarius, this opposition to Uranus is a message to not sell out and cave in and to embrace the best path chosen. The dates this cycle began would have been October coming to a head on October 25 to November 9, then returning November 15 through the 20th, and again returns December 7 through 11, 2025. It is a separating, disentangling transit. Another Mercury prompt to help us progress on our reset will be Mercury trine Jupiter, and it's exact on November 12th. Mercury retro trine with Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer keeps playing out all the way through December 10. It is extremely supportive for growth, protection, and a release of positive outlook on our lives. Once we arrive on December 10, we have gone through a change in our thinking about life, the news, the world events, and how we want to move through the world, what sort of position or role we actually desire now to take, given so much has been altered within us, changed inside and out. What we feel guided to do in order to increase a greater level of happiness, what we desire to achieve, we have raised the bar somehow, believing we can live this new life we are sensing is developing, formulating in our minds. From where we started mid-October to December 12th, let's say, we are now on a very different and better track by that date. During these weeks, Mercury retro will be also conjoining Mars. This energizes a sense of urgency and clarity of this message coming from Mercury to your heart to act on this new self-improvement and clarity now. It pushes you harder, sharpening your ability to comprehend the new direction and insights which are formulating in your mind. Here are the strongest dates of supersizing motivation: October 19 exact, running through November 12, another exact date. And once we get through these dates, the rest of November into December simply is a processing and integrating process of the message period of time for all of us. We need that time to assimilate and digest and let it come in so that we can pick and choose what part of the new philosophy we identify with and want to become permanent in our life. By the time we reach January 2026, Mercury will move us into the last conjunction to Mars in Capricorn. This could be seen as an ultimate achievement moment which began at the end of October 2025. Now we have a set new plan and natural new standard of living, a new momentum, a strong structure, and conviction to accomplish important things in our lives. They will be very specific to each individual. We have learned something relevant for our soul plan, reprioritizing what is now key for ourselves. What might have seemed foreign thinking about certain things in the past that you were able to live like or do or accept and tolerate a few months prior will now feel foreign because you've grown so much. The new now becomes natural. Mercury is the natural ruler of Virgo, which is discernment and filtering, elevating high-priority tasks, diminishing non-crucial tasks to the bottom of our lists, and Mercury also rules Gemini, our capacity to think and make decisions based on available information. So when Mercury turns retrograde, which slows it down to an apparent stop, wouldn't you think it could build up an incredible concentration of power upon our mental activities for prioritizing, expanding, rethinking, planning, discerning, and processing each time it turns retro? Mercury at the end of this retrograde moves into Scorpio at the end of November and trines Neptune in Pisces. This Mercury retrograde releases an ethereal spiritual experience between October 24 to December 11, 2025, and trining Neptune and Saturn October 19 to December 11. Greater desire for beauty, an ideal you want to achieve, to love, enjoy music, feel the heart, receiving or comprehending an emotional alignment with the people closest to us in our life, with heaven, could happen during October through mid-December. An increased gratitude, new people, friendships, or deep insights occurring at this time brings a specialness to our world. Is it an event taking place in your life that's triggering this? Is it something you have witnessed? Is it a dream? Is it a vision and insight being touched? Could it be a book you discovered, or a special visit, or a trip or conversation? Mercury also will sextile Pluto. That's a 60-degree angle between two planets. This is extremely positive for mentors, collaborators, reaching out to others, spending time with people, but it's got a little bit more of an edge on it, something more that you need and that they need from you. It's a positive time for others giving you a gift, supporting you with crucial information, plans for the future, promises, help, and assistance. Sometimes with Pluto, it is positive for money, setting up accounts, coming to an agreement. It is positive for mail, correspondence, reaching out, getting paperwork done, documents signed, life under control. It is positive for planning important events, appointments, etc., and for judgments and opinions of others which appear fairly correct and just, or your own. The strongest dates for these are October 30 to November 17, then December 1 through 12, 2025. Mercury trines Neptune, Jupiter, and Saturn at the same time through October through November into December, which can enhance positive experiences with either travel, adventure, expansive experiences where we embrace a new environment, people, friends, or life situation. We connect, we learn, and allow that big picture for life to sink in. It can bring good fortune with all tasks taken on. Projects can flow in a positive way. So this is my take on the upcoming all-powerful and influential Mercury retro. Now let's move on to other planetary cycles. In addition to Mercury dates, we have a strong transformational cycle running through all of November into December. Uranus moves back into Taurus and sextiles Neptune, which moves back into Pisces. This sextile, which is a 60-degree angle between two planetary bodies, creates an open door for friendship and exchange of creative ideas. It is excellent for community work, teamwork, collaboration with large groups of people, or simply taking something to the next level of brilliance. It enhances exchange of services, resources, and cooperation among interesting people for advancing the life of a project, a work situation, a professional goal, or your own personal lives. We can see it in the world of information as more and more gather to share the numerous profound journeys and discoveries that are being made. Whether it is spiritual, technical, business, financial, health, and body, a network of brilliant minds join forces to increase Taurus values. This is because Uranus is activating Taurus one last time. And I believe that this has been going on since 2018. So this is the last run of the planet Uranus, the accelerator, transformational, futuristic planet that is absolutely technologically advanced, innovative geniuses, inventive, going to be running through the sign of Taurus, which is all things material, engineering, machines, money, economy, metals, gold, finance, and all things business and banking. It is geared towards building something refreshing and innovative, futuristic, efficient, yet earthy and purposeful. And the Neptune, this is a very unique planet that tends to span other dimensions, ethereal energies, vibrational. It's that otherworldly planet. It has moved back into Pisces, which is where it belongs. Neptune does rule Pisces, and it's enhancing elements of the unseen world, bringing ideal visions into matter, into form. It's the exploration of the other side, of other dimensions, quantum realms, science, physics. It delves into the phenomenon of affirmations, quantum realm, and electrons, and all that wonderful stuff of bringing visual, emotional, and meditative concepts into the physical plane. These two planets are synchronizing, sharing, and building off each other. These planetary connections could represent people sharing and increasing their impact on the progress they desire to make because of their interaction with each other. This is reaching its exact peak moment on November 20, but it's going to span through the whole October, November, December. Sun trine Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. Another positive period is the Sun trine Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune from November 15th through the 21st. A wonderful time for putting into place an important event, planning something special, and it would require a fair degree of positive attitude for your success. Organizational or partnering support would come from Sun sextile Pluto on or around November 21, along with a willingness to be a bit uncomfortable as we venture into new territory with a project or a lifestyle change, as Sun opposes Uranus November 20 and 21. November 19 through the 22nd could also be a bit frantic, as Uranus opposes that Mercury retro and the Sun at the same time. So even though it can be an exciting month, watch out for arguments, disagreements, stress, and anxiety situations. Watch out for prolonged stressful travel incidences, accidents, and mishaps. Be prepared for change of plans or an increase of unexpected activities occurring around these dates. The 15th through the 19th are the best times to travel, actually, and again, November 24 through 28 and December 2nd through the 7th. How Mercury retro influences your personal sun sign. So here we go now into how the Mercury retrograde from 6 degrees Sagittarius backwards to 20 degrees Scorpio is going to impact your own personal sun sign. For Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and Sagittarians, Mercury retrograde will activate these signs quite strongly. Mercury in Sag will make hard squares, a conjunction, an opposition to these zodiac signs, and that means you are a bit at a crossroads mentally and need to dance through and around obstacles before you can finally get a plan going. Don't delay and don't allow any negativity or interference get you down. For Geminis, expect to be challenged by Mercury's delivery of new information, new insights coming your way, all of end of October through November. It will leave you with some sort of a turnaround in your mind, sort of a moment where you have to stop and think, how am I going to handle this? It could be an assignment, something to implement or ponder, yet it might feel like a huge stretch just to figure it out or get it going. Use good judgment when deciding how to implement these inspiring downloads you will be getting, and eventually, with much planning, it will all come together. Virgos, you will have a square from Mercury, which could have you inspired to scrutinize and analyze a situation or something that just doesn't feel quite right. It's requiring a thorough analysis and editing of each detail of the situation, and yet there's still interference coming in between you and what you would like to do in order to move on it, fix it, or you could be feeling held back or blocked in some way. It doesn't mean you are in error with your analysis, but timing is not quite right. Typically, there can be an individual that has another agenda or has more power or say over a situation, so you might need to put it on a shelf, and in a few weeks, as Mercury goes retrograde back to Scorpio, it could change. This would be the last 2 weeks of November and the first week of December. Pisces also receives an interference, an argument, or someone choosing to move in a direction which sets you off in some way. You could feel emotionally stagnant, blocked, paralyzed, with tremendous feelings welling up inside, with a vision, an ideal, and your heart wanting something, and yet you can't see any way around it, that you can't move forward. You might not be able to do anything about it, but cooperate with your present environment and people. Again, you are most likely accurate with your assessment of how you see something, but no one cares right now. As you get close to the end of November, it can finally smooth out and you experience an avenue or a path for it to go fairly well. Sagittarius obviously will receive the most profound hit from this Mercury retro, as it will conjoin your Sun. This is your time to take your life to a higher level in the way you want. Inspiration pouring down for you to pick it up and receive the message Mercury brings to your outer mind. Maybe it's a new book. Maybe you're signing up for a new class or taking on a new adventure. Get out of the mundane routine. The impetus for this Mercury would be to engage in all things expansive, moral, ethical, legal, just relationship fairness, justice, resolution, and honor. You are raising the bar of how you see things and how you want to move forward. Travel and projecting one's intentions to a far distant place, idea, project, or activity would be all part of this new Mercury. Leos and Aries. Leos and Aries receive a trine from Mercury retro, which enhances excitement and looking forward to events. It heightens communication, paperwork, signing, negotiations, sales, such as real estate. It provides loving events with children, parties, and holidays. It is positive for sharing generosity and celebration. You should concentrate upon joy, love, expansion of your beauty, attractiveness, your appearance, how you come across, how you present yourself. You light up and communicate what you want, what you need. People pay attention. They take you seriously now. It's a time for people close to you to sit down and truly listen to your story and act out for you in ways that help you achieve your goals. Aries, this Mercury impacts your need to feel you have regained control over some aspect of yourself and your life. Get ready to be inspired with an infusion of positive news, great conversations, helpful meetings, and a feeling all things are moving in the right direction with at least one particular project. Stay optimistic, open-minded, and allow yourself to stretch your mind in embracing a vision, which is presented to you right during this month of November and December. Scorpio and Capricorns will receive semi-sextiles, bringing you inspiration to change up your daily activities and routines a bit. You could desire a different sort of outing or adventure. Mercury prompts a change of scenery, touching base with those you care about. It is a time for thinking and processing about one's life, your future, and is there anything on your mind you still feel pulled to experience? Mercury makes semi-sextiles to these two signs, which are mild pressures to be just a little bit more insightful and introspective and go deeply into yourself and your life. It is possible for Scorpios to desire to put into action new ideas, adding to this your plans, especially involving collaboration with resources or other people, a team, and their infusion of their talents or their money or investing their brilliance into the situation. So Scorpios usually tend to give and receive other people's help, advice, instruction, and then you give back in return. It's a bonding, immersion, collaborative energy. Now for Capricorns, it would be a sense of reflection on your life in order to be open to the new matrix or a blueprint coming into your mind's eye. And it has to do with precipitating something from the etheric into the physical. New projects, friends, invitations, these ideas and insights are all shared, and you could be delegating, organizing, constructing, and synthesizing a plan, a strategy, a system in order to bring it all into the physical. Something is brewing and stewing until it all comes together. They are waiting for the perfect green light to signal it's time to move on these things. So semi-sextiles are hints of ideas, concepts, possibilities, and by the end of the month, it could all materialize. At the end of November, Mercury moves retrograde into Scorpio, making a conjunction to the Scorpio people. This demands a rethinking of your own personal position that you stand on with other people and commitments, in contrast with what is happening around you. So you're sizing up the situation to decide, am I still invested in this, or do I want to pull out and change it? Investing in some time to decide how you want to move forward in the light of these situations you are witnessing will probably be the main theme. It will help you cope with the new environment, whether it is a new norm in the world or family or work, or if you want to make alterations. The conjunction is November 20 to December 10 from Mercury, which is very energizing and yet can be a sign sometimes of trouble or increased complications with the people around you. It might escalate. In the positive sense for Scorpios, it's as if you now can finally think, make that decision you were mulling over for months. Money could come through friends or family finally and make that connection for you to make an event happen, and your personal energy should pick up. Mercury retrograde for Taurus and Cancers have a bit of inconvenience to struggle with. You could face necessary change of plans, delays, adjustments, shifts of attitude, life situations, unexpected turn of events. Sometimes you could feel frustrated with the things being bogged down. You could feel a bit disconnected or irrational emotionally about what's taking place in November into the month of December. Try to plan out seriously your holiday agenda, every part of it, especially travel plans. Be practical and don't assume things will go smooth and be back to normal again anytime soon. Take care of your money. Think smart when rearranging plans, expenses, or even offers to accommodate others or extending yourself too far. Cancers will be upset over the inconveniences with family, friends, comfort, and food, accommodations, but mainly putting people out at the last minute. Taurus is frustrated over the incompetence and lack of foresight with whom or whatever is causing the annoyances. By the end of November, Mercury turns direct and will smooth out your life. It will make an opposition, however, to Taurus, but a trine to the Sun in Cancer. Cancers will have a lot more tension lift at the end of November, but Taurans may feel a little bit more separate and disconnected. Letting go of worrying about others, how they may feel, or someone's very attached attitude and stubborn position, it won't help to fixate on this. It'll cause you to feel even more separated. It won't last long. Just let your stress go a bit and focus on what you need for yourself. Supporting another person's situation would be a nice way to keep the peace. Yet it doesn't mean you have to totally agree with the situations going on around you. So let's move on to the last two signs, Aquarius and Libra. You are having a very helpful, optimistic cycle. The Mercury retro sextiles your suns, which is great. Sextiles bring positive solutions to life situations. They support integration of ideas and launching new projects with the support of others. It opens the door for discussing options for the future, things you have always wanted to feel like and do. And the main thing that's great about it, if you just want to hang out with friends, it's the best time through the month of end of October through November and most of December. A fun exploration of an idea with a partner would be helpful to feel your way through the next few months of plans. It might be one particular person that you trust that you want to discuss and visualize what could be happening for the year ahead, 2026, or a group or a team. But sextiles are the best for harmonious, cooperative ideas and executing something very worthwhile now. Beware the end of November, around the 20th, up through December 10, as Mercury turns direct. It goes back into Scorpio and will square Aquarius, which could add some stressful, irritating, anxious energies. Sometimes they look like conflicts with anyone who doesn't agree with you or is moving in a different direction. Sometimes it's not personal, but it's global, political, out in the world. In general, however, the emphasis is upon the friendship, the sharing, and the wonderful boost you receive from the synergy of like-minded people sticking together for a great time. Aquarius is about freedom, liberation, independence, and your originality. It's about having an amazing experience every day of your life, loving and being engaged in humanity. Then the sextile from Mercury presents one special vision the universe may want you to explore. So that's it, everyone, and wishing you the best Mercury retrograde and month of December, and we'll see you next time.